Plarium has been on a tear lately. It's particularly bad even for them. And I want to talk a little bit about it today. It's not all we're going to talk about, but I do want to just briefly talk about what's going on in Raid lately. Because for the last few weeks, it seems they are very aggressively trying to make sure you understand that they don't like you. Basically since Halloween. Really, it's like a switch flipped before Halloween, a little bit before Halloween. And they have just been popping off at every turn. Every time I log into the game, every time I go into the content creator chat, it's kind of like everybody's like, what are you guys doing? What's going on lately? You okay? You need to talk. I'll give you a couple of examples real quick. One is this Revenant's Path that requires shards. One of the things it requires is shards. And they didn't tell you this when this went live. There was no indication that it was going to involve shards. So this goes live, and then later into it, this goes live. There was absolutely no reason not to let them go live together. If one was going to require shards, it was a bait. It's a blatant bait. There's no other explanation for it. There's no way no one there thought, hey, maybe we should, like, it didn't get overlooked. This was intentional. And this is what I'm talking about. These are the kinds of things that they keep doing. They did another Cold Heart skin tournament where you have to win your bracket. Well, now they're doing a Bone Night. They're doing a Death Night event where you have to win your bracket. And it's like, there's other ways to do this. There's other ways to let your players get stuff besides forcing them to win a bracket, which you almost certainly are not going to win unless you spend money. Some of you will get lucky, and you'll take that information and apply it across the board and go, well, I didn't spend any money and I won. Everybody's brackets are not the same, okay? This is not anecdotal. This is not about anecdotes. This is about the behavior of the developer. So I'm not interested in hearing any defenses for Plarium here. There's a portion of you guys that have this real masochistic energy about your relationship with Plarium, and it's like you wear this mistreatment as this badge of honor, as like, if you can't handle it, it's a tough man's game. Like, it's crazy that some of y'all enjoy this so much. Enjoy that this is the worst fucking game developer of all time so much. And they are. As far as player relations and actually trying to make your game good, I have never seen a developer in all of my years, and I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old, I have never seen a developer so aggressively work against having any kind of relationship with their players and making their game good. This game is over 3 years old, and there are some very basic day one quality of life things that we still don't have. That is insane. And you can look at the list and go, well, they did this and they did this and they did this. There's such a longer list of things they haven't done that they should have done by now. And it's like, again, there's a percentage of players that just can't wait to let them get away with this shit. And it's insane to me. So what we're gonna do, instead of continuing to rant and say the same things about Plarium, because it's basically the same conversation every time, it's just what thing did they do this time. But the gist of it is they hate you, they're gonna take money from you, and they're not even gonna pretend like they appreciate it. They're gonna be really aggressive about putting you in a position where you feel like you have to spend money to participate in what's going on in this game, and then they're not gonna appreciate it at all. And you're their pay pigs. Like you're you're the reason they have so much money, and you're still worthless to them. That's such a strange dynamic, right? And there's a handful of people that seem to get off on that, and somehow Plarium still is as successful as they are because of an advertising budget and good graphics. So what I want to do today is talk about some other games. I want to present to you a few other games. And before you check out, these are not all plugs for me. I'm going to talk about one of the games that I'm playing. But there's other stuff that I think you at least need to see, just as a point of comparison. just to see what's going on in the industry, because it is getting better. Mobile games have this reputation, and I think there's this idea, especially if you're moderately inexperienced in the genre, if Raid is your only game or one of your only games, I think there's this idea that they're all going to be the same. So I might as well stay here where the graphics are good and the community's dope. And, you know, this is not industry standard. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And I want to talk about some other games. So I'm probably gonna have to do a quick transition because I gotta set some stuff up, but you just need to see some other stuff. So let's take a look. Okay, here is a game called Marvel Snap, and I'm gonna let Darth's video play. There's probably no sound, but I'm gonna let his video just play in the background here. He's recently made a channel for this game, so I'm gonna talk about the game and then I'm gonna talk about him, okay? This, in my opinion, in my nearly a decade of experience in mobile games, objectively this year, this is the best mobile game that's come out. It's called Marvel Snap, and it's a card game likened to Hearthstone, but not exactly. And it is so well polished. It is very engaging. It is simple enough to jump in and understand what's going on. If you've never played one of these games, if you've never played a Hearthstone, if you have zero idea conceptually, this game will teach you how to do it, and it's simple enough to jump in and have a good time very early on, but it gets complex enough to keep you interested long term. And the ranking system is pretty solid. It keeps you in a place, right? The big thing about this game is that there is zero pay to win. I think at the beginning you can spend $3 and get a Captain America card, and beyond that, there's zero pay to win. And the Captain America card isn't gonna like break anything. It's just a Captain America. There's nothing super special about it. Beyond that, all of the upgrades are visual. Everything you spend money on is visual. So you get a base card and then you upgrade it and it does like a frame break. So it's like they're coming through the frame, and then you do another upgrade and the background becomes 3D, and then it becomes, it's all visual. There's no pay to win, which is crazy to say about a mobile game, but it's just pure gaming. And that's refreshing as hell in the mobile game world, man. That is really cool. So I think you should check this game out for sure. You can get it on Steam. It's got a PC client. You can get it on your phone as well. Now, on to Darth. You have probably never seen Darth make videos about a game that he's passionate about playing. He was not passionate about Raid at all. I think ever. Diablo Immortal, I know that he really enjoys. I don't know if he was ever particularly passionate about Diablo Immortal. He's still playing it, but I don't know how deep the passion ran for Diablo Immortal. He's passionate about Marvel Snap. And I think even if you're not going to play the game, I'm going to link his channel below. He made a channel specifically for Marvel Snap. I think you need to go watch a video. I think you need to go watch a DM Marvel Snap video, because it's just such a fucking vibe, first of all. It is so much fun to watch this dude do something he's passionate about. I play the game when I can. Every now and then before bed, I'll play a couple rounds or something. I don't have a ton of time these days, but I hardly play it at all, and I still watch every video that he uploads on it, because it's just such a vibe, dude. It's so much fun to watch him be enjoying something he's creating. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't realize what a solid strategic player he is, right? Because Raid, we just meme on. You don't really have to do a lot. Diablo Immortal is mostly about grinding and spending a little bit of money. There's not a ton of strategy involved here. Here, it's a lot of strategy, and I think people don't know because you don't really have a reason to know. Darth is a smart dude. He's a smart player, and it really comes through here. He does such a good job of breaking down what he's doing and why, and how to build decks and what cards are doing, and explaining his strategy. It is just such a blast, and we know I'm a DM fan anyway, but I think even if you're not going to play Marvel Snap, you need to go check out his channel and watch a video or two just to see what it's like when Darth is passionate about something, because it's such a vibe, and it's going to be something you haven't really seen from him before, at least in this capacity. So that's the first game that I want to recommend to you guys. Next, I'm gonna have to do another transition because again I gotta set stuff up. But we're gonna jump over to another game now. All right, next up we're gonna talk about Infinite Magic Raid, and I've got some things to say about the game. And then you see we've got a Kyr video pulled up. I'm gonna link Kyr's channel below because in my opinion, he is making he is making the best Infinite Magic Raid content on the platform. I think Kyr's another one that's an incredibly smart dude. He's a very interesting player to listen to. He does a great job of breaking down, again, what he's doing and why. And he likes to get into the numbers and learn the shit that most people don't want to take the time to learn. So like there's a stat in the game called Mastery that affects your dot damage. And for a long time, everybody's like, how does it work? He jumped in and figured out the math on how it works and did a video on it. And those are, I love those videos. One of my favorite raid videos to this day is a long time ago. Hell Hades did a video before he even started using a camera about damage reduction passives in Clan Boss. So he was using like Norog and Duchess, and he had all these charts and graphs and math he was doing. And it's still one of my favorite raid videos to this day. I just love that so much. I love it when someone takes the time to do that stuff and the presentation is good, and there's just a lot of energy that goes into that kind of stuff. So that's always really entertaining for me. But Kyr is, again, a very smart player. He's one to listen to, and I think he's making the most informative content on Infinite Magic Raid. I kind of did it backwards. I said I was going to talk about the game, but instead I talked about him. So I'll link his channel below as well. If you want to check out Infinite Magic Raid, I highly recommend you check out Kyr Mobile as well. He'll point you in the right direction. But as far as Infinite Magic Raid goes, there's this idea on the surface that it's just a carbon copy of Raid, and that could not be further from accurate. It is, if you play the game for more than 10 minutes, you will immediately start to see the different systems that get implemented that are not like Raid at all. I think what happens is people log in and they see a couple of familiar debuffs and a familiar camera angle, and they're like, oh, they just stole from Raid. No, they didn't. The whole game plays so much differently than Raid. The gearing system is different. The food system is different. The awakening system is different. There's an exclusive weapon system. The battle mechanics can be very different. The champs are wildly different. It's such a drastically different game than Raid. So if you've been hearing that and that's why you're not checking it out, you need to get rid of that. You need to stop listening to people that say shit like that, because it's not even remotely true. It is so drastically different than Raid. And it's really, really good. It's really, really good. There is a bit of a fodder issue in the game. You will hit a little bit of a wall at a certain point. However, my caveat to that is, in all of my years of being in content creator programs for different games, this is the only developer that I've ever seen that has so quickly implemented changes in patches that are being suggested. They're not listening to everything everyone says, and we'd like them to fix it faster. But every time they drop an update, you can see the progress being made in the things that they're being told are big issues, right? And that's really refreshing, because so many times I've watched these developers kind of have this "we know what's best" thing, and you'll have a content creator chat of 20 plus creators with over 100 years combined experience telling them this is a big problem, this is going to kill your game, and they don't listen. And then they end up like Awakened Chaos Era, or Dragon Champions, or Calibria, or what's that other one? What's the other one? They reached out to me again recently, want me to sign with them again. Dragon something, I don't remember. But name one. Like how many games have come and gone in just the 3 years since Raid's come out, right? Because they all think they know best and they don't want to take any feedback. Infinite Magic Raid, again, you can see it in every single update they drop. They're making strides to fix it, and it has to be done slowly, right? We want it done quickly, but it has to be done slowly because you can't overcorrect, yada, yada, yada. The point is, they're heading in a good direction. They seem to take feedback well. They're making good changes. I think this one's going to be around for a while. I'm pretty optimistic about Infinite Magic Raid, so that's another one that I think you should check out. And again, just to see how it's different, okay? And then again, I'll link Kyr's channel down below, and you can head over and show him some love, because he's making just every video he drops is a banger, dude. So, all right, let's move on to the last game again. I got to set it up one more time, but we're going to talk about my personal favorite on the list now. All right, and this next one we're going to talk about is, again, my favorite. It is Eternal Evolution. It is quickly becoming my main game. That's just what's happening. It is by far my favorite game that's come out this year. Again, I think I'll still say objectively Marvel Snap is better. I think lacking a pay-to-win element completely is phenomenal, especially for such a good mobile game. But this one, talking about the gacha genre, where to a degree pay-to-win is inevitable, right? There's so many good things to say about this game. There's just so many good things to say about it. And one of the things that's really dope about it is that it's got the graphics, I think, to contend with Raid. I think it looks better than Raid, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think it looks more next-gen console than Raid does. I think these character models are really sharp and polished. This looks like it was pulled straight out of Warframe. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of ridiculous how good the graphics are on this game. So I think that's kind of cool that there's a game that kind of feels like it can contend with Raid in that respect, because that's usually every game's downfall that comes up and tries to push its way into the top of this genre, as everybody goes, well, it doesn't have the graphics that Raid has. But I think this game is there graphically. And there's just a lot of gameplay, a lot of different gameplay. It's an idle battler, but it's an idle battler with a gearing system. There's different gear sets and set bonuses and ways to build champs, and I think that's usually why I get bored with idle battlers, is because there's no variation. And this one, that is not the case. There's different gear sets. They are about to add another new champion. They've got some new content coming already. The developers seem so incredibly solid. Probably, yeah, definitely the best, the most like pleasant developers I've worked with, and the ones that seem to be doing the best things. There's already very little to complain about in the game as it stands, but even the tiny tweaks that they're making and the updates that they're putting out are excellent. This game rewards you for everything that you do. There's so many resources to be had in this game, free to play. It's just really, really well structured and well designed. The graphics are sharp. There's a lot of gameplay. It's the kind of game where if you want to get in and out in 20 minutes, you can, or if you want to play it all day, you can. It depends on how much fine tuning and work you want to do in your account, but it kind of leaves it up to you. There's a lot of like auto battle skip. I think I'm out of currency in arena, but in arena, in battle, you can like quick skip a battle and it simulates and gives you the result right away. You can do that in Wasteland as well. The way that the dungeon system works is really cool. The energy system is different. It's just they got a lot of different takes on the systems that you've seen before. So everything feels new and fresh and interesting and innovative. And it's just a really fun time. It's the most active section in my Discord right now. And I am just in love with this game. In the same way that I was talking about Darth being passionate about Marvel Snap, I'm feeling particularly passionate about this game, and I feel like that shows up in my content as well that I'm making for it. So I'm going to link to a couple of other channels that are covering this game too. I'm covering it on my second channel. I'll link that below. I'll also put a link to this game down below if you want to download this game and check it out, which I really think you should check this game out. I think you're going to like this game. I'm covering it, and then Ivy has a channel where she's covering it, and she's putting out a lot of really good content for it. And Dan Heilman, who, if you're in the raid scene, you might not know. I don't think he makes much raid content, but he made Awakened Chaos Era content. He made Infinite Magic raid content. I think he made some Dislike content. He's definitely been in the space for a minute, and he's a solid player and a really smart dude, and he makes really good content as well. So I'm going to link the 3 of our channels below for Infinite Magic raid, and then again, I'll have a link above those if you want to download the game and check it out, which I highly, highly recommend that you do. And I'm not telling you to quit raid. I'm not telling you that I'm quitting raid. I want to be really clear about that. I just think that you need to see what some of these other games are doing if you're not already doing that. I think it's not a bad idea to jump in sometimes and just see what it is, because I think, especially for Raid's your only game or you don't have a lot of experience in the genre, it could be easy to think that the ones of us that are frustrated are just whining unnecessarily, and that's not the case. Plarium really is that bad. There's a reason that the veterans of the industry feel the way that we do about Plarium. They are just so aggressively in your face about the level of disdain that they have for you. And it's very strange that they've continued to get away with it for this long. I've seen games suck at this real bad before, but they come and go very quickly. Plarium, I don't even know if saying they suck at this is the right word, because it's so intentional. It's so intentional. The way that they're structuring these events and putting you in positions where you have to spend more money to participate. It's not a matter of whether or not it's optional. That's another one of the defenses of, like, it's optional, you don't have to do it. Yeah, I guess you don't. But it's kind of a bummer to just sit on the sideline and participate with 10% of what the game you're playing is doing. You know, if you look at the event calendar for Infinite Magic Raid, they set their events up in they synchronize them in such a way that is so beneficial for you. When they do a summon event, they do things around the summon event that are going to benefit you. When they do a dungeon event where you're supposed to farm gear, they do an enhancement event with it. And then they do a specific dungeon event. So like right now there's an event to farm Nedja, which is one of the dungeons. There's also another event about accumulating gear. And then there's another event about upgrading gear. And they're all happening at the same time. And that's how they do it every time. When they do summon events, they do summon rebates, and they do double Lego, and they do all of these things together. They cluster their events together so that you come out positive. And that's the thing I've been saying since my first year in Raid. Every event they put out is net negative for their players. That is not how that's supposed to be. No other mobile game that succeeds is doing that. These events are not supposed to be paywalled 100% of the time. You're not supposed to go into an event with more than you come out with. That's insanity that they've been doing that for 3 years. And it feels normal because that's how it's been. But if you play any other game, the events in this game, dude, are so crazy with the resources they drop on you. And there are events that are for whales. And I've never been opposed to that. I've never been opposed to there being things for the whales to do as well. This game does a really good job of having events for everyone. There's events that free to play can do. As long as you're participating, you can do them easily and end up with Triple S champs and really good stuff. There's events for mild spenders. There's events for big spenders. There's events for whales. Eternal Evolution is just killing it right now. Everything Plarium does is to pry money out of your wallet. It is not about you. It is not about fun. It is not about anything other than new downloads and getting your money. And they are so in your face about how much they don't give a shit about you. And it's just getting exhausting. It's like it's not even fun anymore. For a long time, it was fun to just meme on them. But it's like they've managed to suck the fun out of that even. And they're just really particularly bad lately. So I don't know where this goes. I don't know where this ends up. As of right now, I have no plans to quit or leave Raid. My main channel will still be doing what it does. Probably at a little bit of a slower rate for a little bit, because I just don't feel inclined at all to pump out any content for Raid. But Free to Succeed isn't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. But my attention is definitely here. This is where my attention and energy is going for the most part. So that's it. I guess I just wanted to, again, chat with you guys for a little bit, share some other alternatives for you to at least check out. I'm not telling you to quit Raid, but I think it's worth checking out some of these other games and seeing if there's anything that, I don't know, does anything for you, moves the needle at all, so to speak. So that's it. We'll go ahead and get out of here. Lots of links and stuff below. If you do nothing else from this video, I want you to go watch a Darth Marvel Snap video. If you don't play Eternal Evolution, if you don't do Infinite Magic Raid, if you don't download Marvel Snap, I want you to go watch a Darth Marvel Snap video. It is such a fucking vibe, dude. So that's it. I'm getting out of here. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you soon.